ESTEVAO is the truth. The final whistle has just blown as Chelsea dominate Barcelona. It's the only way to describe it, as pure domination in the game from Chelsea Football Club against Barcelona. This is obviously a game that everyone had in their calendars. I'm sure all Chelsea fans were looking forward to a game like this. And every neutral was as well, because the prospect of playing against a Lamine Yamal and a Marcus Rashford and all this kind of stuff was going to be huge. It's a huge European tie. But boy, oh boy, did Chelsea impress tonight. And in these big games, you can't take it away from them. These guys know how to perform. And that's even before this red card that Ronald Araujo got in the game. His first was a silly yellow card arguing the referee, and an even sillier challenge on Cucurella, who's another one who is unbelievably impressive, who's gone under the radar again. The best left back in the Premier League for me. Another one that comes to mind, Caicedo. Was there a blade of grass that Caicedo didn't touch tonight? Covering so much ground, so dominant. It's why, for me, he is the best midfielder in the Premier League. Just because he doesn't just bring you that work defensively, he is also the focal point for this team in possession, the anchor, the conductor for Chelsea Football Club. His partner in midfield, Enzo Fernandez today, who's really just come on leaps and bounds and has had a lot of doubters throughout the time. I won't shy away from the fact I'm somebody that doubted Enzo Fernandez as well at points. But this new role that he's picked up, the confidence that he's picked up, the form that he's playing in right now is really, really impressive. From Barcelona point of view, obviously, if you're losing out on somebody like Pedri, who is the best midfielder in the world for me, it is going to affect the way you play. Barcelona started with Eric Garcia in midfield. After the red card, he dropped into the back line, and it ended up with a midfield at the end of the game of Frenkie de Jong and Christensen, which just tells you all of the issues that they're facing right now, especially when you lose out on someone as talismanic as Pedri is for Barcelona. But for me, I want to focus on Chelsea and all the positives. Caicedo, Enzo, ESTEVAO today. Wow. It's no breaking news, no headline, but how highly I rate ESTEVAO. We just saw the previous STS episode, the one before the roundup, the stocks episode, where I would have put more stocks in him if possible, but ESTEVAO is just, he's special. He's got that special X factor that you want from your attacking players. His goal was taken unbelievably well. Cutting inside, Kobasi is no slouch. The strength and the awareness to know that Balde is on your left shoulder to touch it with the right foot. And how about that for a finish on his weaker foot into the roof of the net at the near post? It's an unbelievable game from ESTEVAO, who I do expect will get all of the plaudits and the man of the match as well. But to a man, Chelsea were unbelievable. Their midfield were always dominating that game. They were always controlling the affair. They were always going to dominate, especially due to the fact that Barcelona were missing such a key midfielder like Pedri as well. Juan Santos comes on the pitch, and you heard at the end of that game the Olays were ringing out all over Stamford Bridge due to the fact that they were just controlling the game. And that is a lesson in how to deal with a team that goes a man down. Chelsea's intensity off the ball, which was already very high, 11v11, went up another notch. And it was so hard for Barcelona to even play out with 11 players on the pitch. Having less man made it almost impossible. It was game over by that point, by the time the red card came. But they still had work to do. Koundé own goal for the first one. A lovely pass from Garnacho to Cucurella, who squares it across the box. Pedro Neto with a back heel flick towards the goal. And it ends up coming off Koundé, a bit comically if we're being honest, and goes into his own net. But Chelsea were unbelievable today. And I tweeted through the game, I think if they play like this, Chelsea are a very, 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 very tough customer. For all teams in Europe, all of Europe's elite will struggle when Chelsea do play like that. It's genuinely such a brilliantly dominant, brutal performance from Chelsea Football Club at home, Stamford Bridge. Their next game is at Arsenal, who obviously have been the top team in England, but it's first versus second. And Chelsea are at home. They should take a lot of confidence coming from a game like this and take that into this Arsenal game. It's going to be a huge game. It's a London derby at the end of the day. But wow, by the end of the game, The Chelsea fans were chanting, "You're just as shit ESTEVAO" to Lamine Yamal. Imagine. And that goes a lot of credit from that has to go to Marc Cucurella, who in my opinion is the best left back in the league and one of the best in Europe, in the world most certainly. I felt as though Garnacho was probably out of all of them the one that I could see being subbed off, but I have to give credit to him as well. His assist for the third goal in the game was unbelievable. He himself, I'll be honest, I thought had a big part to play in that first goal. That lovely pass through the lines to Cucurella was very, very key. I know that was given offside. The linesman had a lot of work to do, but it's really questionable how Araujo goes into that second challenge on Marc Cucurella after already getting a yellow card for dissent, which is very, very, very poor for somebody of such experience. But it's like there was no solution for Barcelona. Off the bench, they could have gone for Casado, for Eric Garcia, but as soon as that red card happens, Eric Garcia's got to drop. And it was just brilliant. There was a pass on from early on in the game from ESTEVAO through to Pedro Neto, who ended up skying it over the bar, which wasn't much of a surprise on his right foot there. But he is just a player who's just so fun to watch. Caicedo tweeted through the game, still the most complete midfielder in the league for me. Proof you can have a huge impact out of position, but also being the conductor of your team. We see this other midfielders who are so important. We look at Declan Rice, for example, who's so important for Arsenal for what he does out of possession. But Caicedo is just as important out of possession, while at the same time being that six, being that anchor. Whereas Arsenal, that role is a bit split, where Declan Rice does a lot more of the running and the hard work and all of these kind of things, which is vitally important. No one can deny that. I won't be the first to. But it's split between Zubimendi being the conductor and Declan Rice being the legs. Caicedo's both in one. And it was honestly such a good watch from a neutral point of view, that game there. It was two minds going at it. Obviously, Hansi Flick is never going to change the way that he wants his team to play. And I've been watching Barcelona last season and this season as well. They have a really interesting balance between how they want to control games and the chaos that they play with. So control and chaos is almost two opposite schools of thought. Like we saw Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp for so long battle for the Premier League title. One being a manager that's more, about the chaos and the rock and roll of football in Jurgen Klopp, and then the control that you see from Pep Guardiola. Barcelona have tried to marry up the two. Today, it really was just a lot of chaos. It felt as though for most of that game, Chelsea were the team that had control over it. And there's backs of quality in that Barcelona squad, no doubt. And Rashford, Rafinha both came off the bench, but at that point in time, with a less man playing against a team with that level of confidence, dominating the midfield battle, you're not going to get much of a ring out of them. An unbelievable performance from Chelsea Football Club tonight. Now they've got a very, very big test. And for me, their ambitions this season has to try and be solidify and consolidate being a top 4 team in the Premier League and give the Champions League a good go. There's no guarantees in the Champions League. We look at PSG last season, who's just about struggled to get through this league phase, this first phase of the Champions League, and ended up being the team that ended up lifting the trophy. Chelsea just got to enjoy this. And as Chelsea fans now, there has been that divide between the project off the pitch, going for young players, and some people understanding it and going for it, and some others not. With the likes of Fofana coming back, a bit more quality into that back line, which is very, very important for Chelsea Football Club today. And you look at ESTEVAO as someone that they've taken a gamble on. You've got to get a lot of credit for that, because as much as we might criticize their transfer strategy, and I've been one of those people who has done in the past, ESTEVAO is the shining light behind that as well. And on the pitch with Enzo Maresca, it's so tough for an English team to have to deal with a team transitioning to try and be a team that controls the game and dominates games of football. But games like that will be such a huge vote of confidence for Enzo Maresca once again, who was brilliant in his game plan and the way he approached this game with Reece James in midfield and Malo Gusto at right back. It was fantastic. All of the things that they tried to work on, Pedro Neto up front was a threat in behind whilst he played there. Liam Delap coming on and getting his goal. A lot of positives for Enzo Maresca and Chelsea Football Club. Now it's about their next huge test, playing against another one of Europe's elite in Arsenal. Let's see how they fare. Let's see how they fare. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Let me know if you want to see more Chelsea Barcelona content throughout the season. And I'll catch you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.